has appealed for such attacks to end. It says if staff are injured or machinery put out of action, it could affect their ability to deal with another emergency. Would you condemn those who attack the police?
Well, what I'm saying to them is that there's absolutely no place for it. I think the standing of Sinn Féin in this area is saying very, very clearly that there is no room. The people of Shantal do not want stone throwing incidents. They don't want petrol bombs in their front door. Those days are over, they're gone, and people should desist.
Police condemned those who attacked their officers and members of the Fire and Rescue Service. They say those responsible had little thought for local residents. Kieran Turish, BBC Newsline, Derry.
Cash depot raid in Kent. They'll examine how the inquiry is being handled. It's believed they've been called in because of the experience police here gained during the hunt for the gang, which stole £26 million from the Northern Bank. Tests are to be carried out by the USPCA to find out if 2 dogs found hanging from a tree in West Belfast were strangled to death. Children discovered the Jack Russell Terriers yesterday in the Collinvale area of Polglass. One of the dogs was pregnant. The preliminary result of the post-mortem examination is expected later today. I apologise for the brief loss of sound there. The government is thinking of raising the age limit on the sale of cigarettes to young people. It currently stands at 16. The public are being asked for their views on smoking legislation published today by Health Minister Sean Woodward. Live now to Julian O'Neill, who's with the Minister. Julian.
Well, from next April there will be no smoking in enclosed workplaces or public places like the Odyssey where we are today, and the legislation has been detailed, or the proposals have been detailed today by the Health Minister Sean Woodward. Mr Woodward, you're talking about possibly increasing the age sale limit to young people from 16 to what, perhaps 18. What difference do you feel that might make?
I think every difference counts, actually. 3,000 people will die in Northern Ireland this year from smoking-related diseases. Every little thing we can do to save people's lives matters, and raising the age of the sale of tobacco, because a lot of young people try cigarettes and smoke. If we can save their lives for the long term, let's do it.
But there is evidence, anecdotal maybe, that the law isn't really being enforced in respect of the sale to young children. What makes you think by raising the age limit it's going to make any difference?
Well, because some people may choose to break the law doesn't mean to say that we should just abandon the law. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to say we shouldn't raise the age at which people can buy tobacco products when we know that smoking kills. The right thing to do is to stop young people and discourage them from smoking, and I believe this will help.
If we look at, or we talk about what places may possibly be exempt from the new legislation, where do you have in mind where may not have to have the smoking ban?
Well, let's be clear. Just about everywhere, frankly, is going to be smoke-free as a public place or a workplace. There are a very small number of places, like prison, which of course for some people is their home, and for a prison officer is his or her workplace. A psychiatric institution that deals with people who have addictive habits. For those places we've got to work out exactly what to do, so that's why we're having the 8-week consultation period.
But if you're a member of a golf club, a private club, you will have to adhere to the ban. I mean, I suppose many members of golf clubs will be saying, well, why not my golf club when they can smoke in prison?
Because a golf club is a workplace for some people, and just because you as a golfer might be a smoker, you have no right to kill the person behind the bar.
Could I just finally ask you about the mental health issue, which BBC Newsline looked at quite extensively last week, and this is the first opportunity to ask you about it. 1,000 young people waiting to see a psychiatrist. That's a pretty damning indictment of the service here in Northern Ireland, isn't it?
Well, as you know, when I became Health Minister at the beginning of last year, we had people waiting 6 years for a hip replacement. I was determined then to change that, to make sure nobody waited more than 12 months. In a few weeks' time, you'll see I've met my commitment on that. I'm going to be turning my attention at the end of this month in March to mental health, and you'll see I have some pretty major proposals to make on that area too.
Okay, Minister, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, from the Odyssey here in East Belfast, back now to the studio.
Thank you, Julian, and I hope you're hearing me properly now. We apologise for that brief loss of sound earlier. The Belfast Giants have been crowned Elite League champions after title rivals Newcastle Vipers lost 5-2 away to Edinburgh Capitals last night. The Giants had narrowly missed out on clinching the title at home 2 weeks ago after a controversial defeat against Cardiff. The coach wasn't very amused, but at the end of a long season, the Giants are champions, and with 2 games in hand, Mr Courtney should be a happier man. Now then, with a look at what's coming up on this evening's BBC Newsline, here's Noel.
Thanks, Joe. Looks exciting, that, doesn't it? Well, we'll have all the top stories, plus the education debate is heating up.
As time runs out for you to have your say in the future of education, BBC Newsline has unique access to the Department of Education office where your responses are being analysed.
The big beach party that's been to Brighton, Bondi and the Copacabana is on its way to Portrush. Find out more about the big Fatboy Slim gig. All that and more, do join us on BBC Newsline just before 6:30.
Thank you, Noel. Well, still some ice around this morning. It looks like there's some more rain on the way. With the forecast, here's Andy.
Yes, hello Joe. As you say, changes are on the way. In fact, you can already feel a change in the weather today. The cold weather's on its way out, so we don't need to worry about those hard frosts over the next few nights. Generally speaking, over the next few days then it is going to be milder but much more unsettled. Some wet spells to come, some heavy spells of rain, some heavy showers, and through the middle part of the week I think it's going to become pretty windy as well. But today the wind isn't really a problem, but you can already see that cloud in the Atlantic gathering. That's the sign of this first band of rain to come later on. But at the moment it's only producing 1 or 2 showers here and there, and there's even a few bright spells. So those are mainly across the eastern side, so for the rest of the afternoon I think you might still see the odd brighter glimpse across parts of County Down, up along the Antrim coastline as well. But elsewhere, well, that cloud is thickening up and even the brighter areas becoming hazier with time. But at least it stays dry for much of the daylight hours and certainly milder than we've been used to lately. The temperature's coming in there at 7 to 9 degrees. Joe.
Thank you, Andy. Well, that was BBC Newsline. We'll have an update with sign language here on BBC One at 3:20. But from all of us, a very good afternoon. Bye-bye.